Coming up on the Hong Kong Racing Show, former Hong Kong Jockey Club executive Bill Nader joins us as we build towards the Hong Kong Derby.
And everybody wants to hoist that trophy and say that they've had a Derby winner.
With the World Pool operating on all races at Rosehill on Golden Slipper Day in Sydney, we catch up with American-based co-owner of the race favourite Paradoxium.
Hi, Andrew. It was incredible. I was in the back of an Uber.
Plus picks and analysis for this weekend at Sha Tin. You're watching the Hong Kong Racing Show. Andrew Brown joined by Alex Evers and special guest Bill Nader. Right off the top, we're getting straight down to business this week. How are things, Bill?
Very good, Andrew. Hi, Alex.
How's it going?
Very good.
That's good. Before we talk Hong Kong, actually, with you, Bill, that was a good crowd at the Great Race Place last weekend for Big Cap Day.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's such a, it's almost like a holiday on the calendar, and everyone looks forward to it. And the supporting races are obviously very enticing too. So It's a big day. It was a great turnout.
Yeah, nice.
Got some prices for small fields too. I was kind of like shocked at that. Didn't look like the best gambling card, and all of a sudden it turned into something nice. So you never know.
Yeah, no winners in the pick six after 4 legs. You don't see that very often.
Wow. Yeah. You were there too, of course, Alex. You're just like this big international race rider. You've gone like Sha Tin, Happy Valley, Sha Tin. I've probably missed a Happy Valley in there. Santa Anita, all over this place in a couple of weeks. Where are you off to next?
Hong Kong Sunday night, because the flights were cheaper to leave Sunday than earlier in the week after all the conflict around the world. Prices on flights, Brownie, insane. I wish we could have bought flights early and started selling them. Did not expect that, but happy to get back out there, and an extra day in Hong Kong is an extra day well spent.
Hey, Andrew, I had a racing fan come up to me and say, it's a big day of racing because Alex Evers is here today.
We love to hear it.
Yeah.
My wife jokes, we love Pitbull. She calls me Mr. International instead of Mr. Worldwide. So happy about it.
And it's no wonder that flights are expensive, Alex, when you're flying at the pointy end of the plane too. Those first class tickets can really
come on, Brownie. No, that's not me, Brownie. I gotta keep it modest. I gotta not experience the nice life and stay in the back of the plane. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know about that.
You get spoiled, Brownie. You get spoiled, Brownie.
I think I may have seen a photo once or twice of you stretched out on a flat bed, but we'll see. All right,
called artificial intelligence.
Let's talk some Hong Kong, and I wanted to actually start with the Longines World's Best Racehorse rankings, which came out this week. This covers the period of the 1st of January through to March the 8th, I believe, and it's a Hong Kong 1-2 on top. Ying Rising with a 128 rating ahead of Romantic Warrior with a 124 rating. You've got Forever Young in there in 3rd spot. Nisos in 5th spot as the top American horse. Bill, Hong Kong racing is certainly experiencing a bit of a golden era it's had plenty of golden eras, but another golden era with these two horses at the moment. What does having the world's top 2 ranked racehorses mean to the Hong Kong Jockey Club?
Well, typically, Andrew, in the first quarter of the year, Hong Kong always has a very strong presence because it has such big races, and the rest of the world is kind of laying low. But to be 1-2, especially with Ying Rising at 128. Now, 128 this early in the season is an imposing number because 128, in most instances, would at least guarantee a top 3 finish. So normally Hong Kong comes out of the gate quickly. The rankings start with IR Day in December. So They carry over. So Hong Kong gets a bit of a head start. But 128 for Ying Rising, to me, sets a pretty high bar for the rest of the year. It's not easy to get to that number. And I would make a bet that that's going to guarantee him at least a top 3, if not better. But of course, it all depends on what's to come. Romantic Warrior, an 8-year-old, to be number 2 at the age of 8 at 124, just incredible. It'll be difficult for him to maintain that position as the year unfolds. But Ying Rising, trust me, he's there to stay. He's going to be up at the top all the way through.
As he should be.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing stuff. We can't wait to follow his path for the rest of the year with another Everest waiting for him too in September. So, yeah, I'd like to see him stay at number one possibly. But then of course, we've got Forever Young in Dubai at the moment too. So he's always going to be tough to beat. And then they always tend to give those European middle distance runners a bit of a extra leg up too, don't they, in those ratings, I feel.
I would expect Alex to say that. I'm surprised coming from you with that. Yeah.
You've heard it out of my mouth multiple times, Brad. I gotta watch what I say.
All right. Well, the other interesting piece of news this week is that Zac Purton, Hong Kong's 8-time Hong Kong champion jockey, is currently, as we speak and as we record this, without a ride in next week's Hong Kong Derby. I should just note again that due to time zones, we are recording this before we're aware of the final field. But you got to remember that Zac had his pick of, I think, half a dozen or more horses heading into the start of the 4-year-old series. Little Paradise, which then went on to win the Classic Mile. Invincible Ibis, who was second in the Classic Cup. There was Beauty Bolt, among others. He eventually chose Sagacious Life. He's now taken himself off Sagacious Life after 2 disappointing runs. I think he told Idle Horse during the week that the horse has cooked himself. So that's an interesting description of what's happened to Sagacious Life. But Bill, what do you think Zac's strategy is from here, taking himself off Sagacious Life and kind of without a ride this close to Hong Kong's most prestigious race?
Well, I think Zac will always have his choice for as long as he continues riding of a number of horses of who he's going to ride in the Derby. That will always be the case, but it's a blessing and a curse because there's not much that separates those horses, and he's got to make a call, and he has to make a call at a certain point in time. And I'm sure now, Monday morning quarterbacking it and looking back, he's probably thinking, or he knows he made the wrong decision. One thing about Sagacious Life, in September of last year, it was noted by the vets in Hong Kong that he had an abnormal breathing episode. So that makes him a roarer. So Zac would have known that. However, the horse came out at the start of the season and won 2 of his first 3, won the Class 2 at the mile, but now it's come up again. And he ran so poorly in the Classic Cup that Zac, being a realist, is recognizing that, okay, maybe I went the wrong way. I zigged when I should have zagged. And now I'm going to probably just sit back and, see if something really wild happens and something opens up. But I feel for him because it's not easy. And I think a lot of people think, well, you made the wrong decision, but that's a bit harsh. I think at that point, you've got to make the call, and there isn't much to separate him. And, as somebody once said to me at a young age, horses are like strawberries. They can go bad very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened here.
Yeah. Look, and we had Zac on the show, I think just after he made the decision on Sagacious Life, and we asked him why, and I think he was quite open then, saying one of the horses he was most concerned about was Little Paradise, and he rated a couple of the others, Invincible Ibis and all that kind of stuff, and he even admitted too that everybody that he'd spoke to had a different opinion. So it just goes to show, I guess, how open the field was this year, and you can't always be right. But I guess now, when you say something wild could happen, not that you ever wish for someone to get sick or injured, but that's always the possibility with jockeys that currently have rides. Is there a possibility too that an owner that may not have been happy with their jockey up until this point could sack their jockey and pick up Zac? Would that be a possibility as well?
Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but highly unlikely. But I think by sitting it out, if that's what he has to do, he lets everybody know that he's not attached to any 4-year-old coming out of the Derby. And then on a go-forward basis, if someone were to get a bad ride in the Derby or something like that, I think he's playing the long game.
Bill, what did you make of the Classic Cup, that whole race in general? If you're a little Paradise fan, are you discouraged going into the Derby off that performance, or does that kind of just align through it with the bad start and the tough trip on the inside? What were your thoughts there?
I think he threw it away at the start, and then I watched it many times, but I thought he was still fighting till the end. So I thought it was very disappointing. But after watching it multiple times, I still think look when it comes to the Derby and looking at the Classic Cup, the first four across the line in the Classic Cup: Stormy Grove, Invincible Ibis, um, uh, Patch of Cosmo, and Numbers. Right, those four and Little Paradise. I've got the Derby down to those five. That's it. That's
Right.
I can't make a case for anyone else,
Hmm.
but I would leave Little Paradise in with the top four coming out of the Classic Cup. I would forgive that. And there's a horse that's won at 1400, being close to the pace, and all of a sudden he found himself way back going 1800. Very, very difficult. But look, he was fractious before the start, and then he just threw it away. So I put a line through it and give him another shot.
Yeah, and out of those horses that you just outlined, then Bill, do you have one on top at this stage? Or, I mean, we won't hold your feet to the fire because we're still 8 days out. But who do you like to win it?
Well, in Hong Kong, everybody makes so much about the draws. I've never been in a jurisdiction where the draws, everybody's on pins and needles on the edge of their seat waiting to see what the draw will be. But at 2,000 meters at Sha Tin, that run to the first turn comes quick. So it is important. And also, the way the Derby is run, in many years, it's a slower tempo. When I saw Harry Bentley on the show, talking about the way the Classic Cup was run, but sometimes in the Derby it can be a stop and start kind of race and can take a horse out of its rhythm. So there's so much that goes into it. Um, but not knowing the draws and knowing what we know today, I look at a Stormy Grove and I know exactly what he's going to do. No matter where he's drawn, he's going to drop out the back and make one run. He wants an honest pace. We know that. Invincible Ibis, um, sentimentally, I mean, I love the ownership group of Invincible Ibis. They're a great group of people, and I would love to see them win it. And I think they have a horse that can get the job done. He's been, I think in the Classic Mile he ran sixth, and then he came back and he ran a good second in the Classic Cup. I'm
Mm.
not sure he really wanted to be down on the inside like that, and I think ideally he would want to save ground, peel out, and make his run, 3 or 4 wide, turning for home, and that would give him his best chance. I but boy, when you look at it, there's not much between those five horses in my view. I think Numbers is the controlling speed of the race. No matter where he's drawn, he's going to be the controlling speed
Hmm.
and he'll set the tempo. I'm not sure he can stay. So I know a lot of people like Numbers. I think he can be in the top three, but I don't think he can win it. Patch of Cosmo was interesting. I thought that was a good run in the Classic Cup. Again, I'm not sure I would make him my win chance, but I respect him.
Yeah.
So down deep, when you ask me, I think Invincible Ibis would be my pick. I think he's
Yeah.
been consistent, and I think he's going the right way. And if he gets the right run, I think he's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic if Mark Newnham could get a big race win like that, a Hong Kong Derby at what just his third year of training. It'd be incredible. But why is the Hong Kong Derby the race that everybody wants to win in Hong Kong? Because we've got some fantastic races throughout the whole year, right? But it's the Derby that everyone wants.
Yeah, it's just got so much history there, and I think the Derby, just the name the Derby, whether it be whatever country you're in, the Derby it's a powerful name, and
Mm.
everybody wants to hoist that trophy and say that they've had a Derby winner. You take the Hong Kong International races, and there's four on the day, four Group Ones, and it's a huge day, but it's spread out, and there's four big races on this particular day. This is the race, and it's a defining race because if you get a horse that can win the Derby, it's a way of saying not only have I won the Derby, but my future is bright. When you think of some of the Derby winners in the past, Voyage Bubble, Romantic Warrior, Golden 60, and maybe for my money, the best Derby in the last 10 years wasn't Voyage Bubble or Romantic Warrior or Golden 60. It was 2017, which was, I think, I'm not sure there could be a better Derby than that. Rapper Dragon won it. Pakistan Star was second. Beauty Generation was third. Now, Rapper Dragon's career was cut short. He had suffered a career-ending injury in the Champions Mile in his next start, but he was a better miler than Beauty Generation at that time. So, how good was he? And then you had, of course, Pakistan Star and Beauty Generation behind him. So that's the thing about the Derby is it's a way of winning a race that is iconic and from a prestige point of view, it's something that's aspirational. As a Hong Kong owner or trainer or a jockey, you aspire to be a Derby winner, and that's true in our country too, with the Kentucky Derby, and in many countries, but particularly in Hong Kong, and especially there. Whereas, like in America, a Kentucky Derby winner, it's a great thing, but that horse is probably it also in our country means probably this horse is going to have a short career. How many starts are left before he's gone? In Hong Kong, it's only the beginning.
Yeah.
Look at the names I mentioned: Voyage Bubble, Romantic Warrior, Golden 60. It kick-started or jump-started their stardom. So it's aspirational, but also sends a message that, what lies ahead in the future, we're excited.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest parts about, I think, Hong Kong racing, exactly how you said it, is this Derby is just a kicking off point, unlike America, where it's like kind of like the farewell party for some of these horses. And again, if you like, a little Paradise or a horse who kind of didn't run to his peak, there may be numbers. In the history of the race, Romantic Warrior didn't run his best race in the Classic Cup, Voyage Bubble as well. So maybe something to think about, not necessarily get yourself deterred off some of those horses where they can bounce back in the race for the ultimate glory in Hong Kong.
Yeah, Romantic Warrior didn't finish in the top 3 in the Classic Cup. He was 4th. Hard to believe now, because
Right.
but that's true, Alex, and so that's why I'm willing to forgive Little Paradise, because he really did throw it away at the start, and he was still going at the end, and that to me, and it looked like I think in the race call, Mark McNamara said he might be last, but he wasn't. He kept fighting. I think he had beat 3.5 lengths, so I can't rule him out. So those are my top 5, but Invincible Ibis, Patch of Cosmo, and Little Paradise are the 3 that I would put in the top 3, probably in that order.
Yeah, well, that's what we've got to look forward to next week from Sha Tin, the Hong Kong Derby. It's going to be exciting. Alex is going to be lucky enough to be there to capture it all, so we'll be looking forward to following his social media channels and getting all those fantastic photos as well. But before that, before next weekend at Sha Tin, we have this weekend at Sha Tin to take a look at, and let's see if we can find you a winner in the feature race on the card, which is the Junction Handicap. A Class 3 is the feature race at Sha Tin this weekend, over the 1,650 metres, which is about a mile on the dirt. Running through the field quickly, number 1, Talent's Ambition. We'll have Andrea Adsani on board, who just welcomed a child into the world this week with his wife, Emma. So congratulations to them. 2, Dragon Air Force has form around a couple of key runners in this race. Beat Skyvino 2 back. Bowman rides. Speaking of Skyvino, he turned the tables on Dragon Air Force 2 back, draws wide in 12. Romantic Thor, number 7, has Purton aboard, 3rd behind Skyvino and Dragon Air Force. Last out, who else do we have? Down the bottom there, 11 All Cash returns to the dirt after being unlucky at Happy Valley. Last out, Speed Map shows Telecom Fighters setting the pace. Bill visitors first. Who do you like here in this Class 3 feature at Sha Tin this weekend?
I was hoping to go last because I have a strong opinion.
Do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I have a strong opinion, and I don't want to sway you.
You have a strong opinion. Okay.
I
Well,
don't, so I'll go
I hope
next.
I hope our opinions are aligned. I really like Romantic Thor. I thought one of the few horses that was on the speed that stuck around last out when he was just mowed down late by Dragon Air Force and Sky Vino, who he reopposes, has trialled pretty nicely since as well. I think a slightly softer run. He's in this up to his ears, and so I like, and with Purton aboard too. So Romantic Thor for me, and I've got the other two in there for the trifecta. Sky Vino, who gets back anyway, despite the wide draw, should be flying home, and Dragon Air Force in for third. So Romantic Thor for me. Are we aligned?
Well, Alex, do you want to go?
No, I'm just gonna looking for an exacta box between the three most informed horses here, and I would probably say that that'd be Dragon Air Force, Romantic Thor, although his bottom line is more suited to the grasping out of the Galileo mare, and then at the little bit lighter weight, kind of the barrier's a little bit of an issue, but Thriving Brothers in there for third and just box those three up. But I'm excited to hear what Bill's opinion is.
Me too. I'm really excited
because I had like no idea. I'm looking at this, I'm like, you can go a million different ways, so I want to hear what Bill has to say.
Well, first of all, Andrew, like so many Hong Kong punters, just picks the horse that Zac is riding, right? Romantic Thor. But I have a strong opinion. Dragon Air Force, I think he wins. Okay. I think he wins. Tough trip last time. Covered a lot of ground. Track and surface specialist, distance and track specialist, 1650 on the all-weather track, or as I say, the dirt. And he's in peak form. So I think he wins. Dragon Air Force.
Dragon Air Force for Bill. Romantic Thor for me. And Alex, you're just sitting on the fence. Are you part Canadian?
Am I part Canadian, Brody? Yeah. No. I thought I was for the longest time when I played hockey as a kid. I made him sing "O Canada" in the national anthem in our school. I didn't realize that Canada and America weren't the same thing.
Right.
But no, not officially Canadian. And in fact, after the American hockey team beat Canada, I feel bad for even doing that as a kid.
Now the World Baseball Classic. It'll probably be a 2-1 game. Yeah. I got two more for you, though. Bonus.
Oh, yeah? I was going to say, has anyone got
love to hear it.
A couple other picks?
Good. Yes. Strong opinions.
Oh, we like this.
Yeah. Race 1, Phantom Cyclone.
Okay.
Strong opinion there. And race 6, Loving Bright.
Okay. Phantom Cyclone in race 1, Loving Bright in race 6.
Yes.
Beautiful. And Dragon Air Force in the feature of the race 8 on the card for Bill. So we'll put all those numbers up on the screen and follow them Saturday night, North American time, early hours, Sunday morning. Incidentally, Sky Vino's last win was win number 1200 in Hong Kong for trainer Casper Founds as well. He's since kicked 6 clear in the Trainers' Championship. Treble the other night at Happy Valley, double at Sha Tin, or was it around the other way? Can't quite remember. But anyway, he's going really well there, Casper, and he's turning the screws, Bill.
Yeah, he came on the show.
I was going to say.
He came on the show.
Yeah, and then he's just, as soon as, what happens, people come on the show, and then they go on to bigger and better things.
Right. That's why I'm giving you bonus picks. I'm trying to, be invited back.
You're always welcome.
Bill, I know where you work. I'll come get the rebate from you if these bonus picks don't hit, okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, gents, just stick around for a second, would you please? Because I'm going to ride solo for a little bit and catch up with one of the co-owners of Golden Slipper contender Paradoxium. The Golden Slipper, a World Pool event at Rosehill Gardens next weekend on Hong Kong Derby weekend. Before that, though, here is the international highlight of the week, brought to you by World Pool. And we couldn't go past Paradoxium's win at Royal Randwick in the Group 2 Todman Stakes last weekend. The Björn Baker trainee getting the job done comprehensively under jockey Jason Collett to cement his place as the favourite for next week's Golden Slipper, the world's richest race for 2-year-old horses.
And Sydney has some hope in the slipper. Paradoxium won it easily from Stratton Ruler.
And I'm very excited to be joined by one of the co-owners of Paradoxium from his home in New York City. A big welcome to Brad Blanks. And Brad, you must have been going off like a frog in a sock watching that race last week.
Andrew, it was incredible. I was in the back of an Uber. I mean, the place is as mad punters. Now an owner, you can watch your horse win a Group 2 race. It was bewildering. I was in Los Angeles in the back of an Uber, and the poor Uber driver didn't know what the heck was going on in the background. I was elated. I was actually trying to keep it pretty cool when it won. As you saw, 1-2 lengths easing down on the line, how you want your horses to win. I got a bit emotional. I said, should I be crying here? Should I, we're off to the slipper. So, of course, we had to win that race to get our earnings, to get into the Golden Slipper. So just a beautiful moment in the back of an Uber on the way to LAX airport.
Oh, that's outstanding. So you've now lived in New York for more than 20 years. Obviously, people have picked up already that you talk a little bit funny like me. But as an Aussie who's been a lifelong fan of horse racing, what does it mean to not only have a runner in the Golden Slipper, the world's richest race for 2-year-old horses, but also he's the favourite?
Look, Andrew, first, just when you say favourite, just to walk around and go, I have a share in the favourite of the Golden Slipper is kind of mind blowing to me. It's stuff that dreams are made of. Look, I grew up in a small country town, Cobram on the Murray River, about 3 hours drive north of Melbourne, and grew up loving horse racing. My grandmother got me onto it. She'd be her $2 each way gambler, and it was just it was a great sport to watch on television with her as a young guy. And before you bet, it's just the excitement, the colours. When you're young, you're seeing colours, and then when you sort of get up the courage to have a bet with your paperboy money, it was like, why would you go play slot, video games like all my mates were playing? I'd sooner see if someone could put the bets on for me at the local TAB and have a bet. And in terms of the Golden Slipper, I probably fell in love with that race. I knew all the big names in the late 80s, but it was 1990. I loved the horse Canny Lad. It went up, from Melbourne up to Sydney, so a Melbourne horse. So, being a Victorian, we always wanted to take on the New South Welshman, and Canny Lad in 1990 winning that Golden Slipper was the first time I went, this race is truly great. These young horses, they've just been purchased a year beforehand, and they're up and running, and they're becoming these class individuals so early in the piece. And from that moment on, then it led into, there's some great, the Terce the following year, Burst, I think, and a year after that. And the big moment, though, was going to my first slipper in 2000, actually being at the races that day. It was, 2000. I was living in Sydney at the time on the Sydney Olympics bandwagon. The Olympics were about 6 months away. And a mate of mine, Cheezel, he's from Mildura, him and I were going to the slipper. We're in the outer. And I heard on the radio that morning an interview with John Singleton, the famed Australian horse racing owner. And he said he'd shout the bar if Belle de Jour won the slipper. And it was about 20-1 Belle de Jour. And I didn't bet on the horse. So I think I bet on the Blue Diamond winner. It ran last in the slipper. And I'm sitting there in the outer with Cheezel, and Belle de Jour comes up and wins that race, by a nose. And everyone's cheering, whatever, people lamenting their losses. And I just turned to my buddy and I said, John Singleton said he would shout the bar if this horse won. Mate, let's go. And we were the first ones in line there at Rosehill Racecourse bar, standing there. And there was no one there because everyone's still outside, with the festivities of the winning horse and, seeing what's going on. And all of a sudden I'm standing in line. I hear the protest siren go off around the racecourse. I went, maybe there's a protest. But it was to do a formal announcement that John Singleton would be shouting the outer.
This is the members bar, and I've been thrown out of that many members bar. I don't want to stay here. I'm going to the public bar, and there's going to be free piss all afternoon, and we can throw the members out of the public bar.
So not the members, he was shouting the outer, free beer. Please go and collect your free beer. And I was first in line. Television cameras were there to interview me. That was my first bit of broadcasting, I guess. And did the interview, and went straight to the bar as the first guy in the whole racecourse to get the beer, and just collected a 6-pack of Tooheys New each. for me and my mate Cheezel. We went out and drank them. We felt like winners. So the Golden Slipper, has always been in my heart.
Yeah, what a fantastic year that was. Brings back a lot of memories you're talking about. And if I remember correctly, too, Beldejour missed the start by some way as well and just came flying home. So that was a fantastic story. Maybe you'll have to shout a few beers if Paradoxium wins the race.
I will.
On next Saturday. Now, Brad, you mentioned that was a little bit of a first taste of your broadcasting career. While people may not recognize you from the world of horse racing, they might recognize you from the world of entertainment reporting, and in particular, a clip with you interviewing Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler that went completely viral. Let's take a look.
You're late.
Crouching.
I'm such a big guy, and I get in the way of the.
What are you getting in the way of? Oh, the camera. Oh, I see.
Oh my God, that's awful. That's not right. Get going. Put your hat on and get out of here. Sorry, I scared you there, Jen.
I can't believe.
Don't ever do that to Anna.
Brad, that is too funny. How did you get yourself in a situation like that?
Oh, look, mate, that was back in 2011 for a movie called Just Go With It. I think it was the first time Sandler and Aniston had been on screen together. Had Brooklyn Decker in that. She was the young hottie, but Jennifer Aniston as the older, beautiful woman was just sensational in that. But yeah, I was at the red carpet in New York City, and I do entertainment reporting, but my interviews are all about my failure of trying to get a celebrity to talk to me. And in this case, I was pretty much on my hands and knees with a media scrum with real life reporters around me. And I said, I'm not going to get anything here with Sandler. And I had my buddy out the back with a small video camera filming it. And I was on my knees. And what you always want is a celebrity to engage back with you. And Jennifer Aniston looked at me, and as you saw in that video, she goes, what are you doing down there? Stand up. And I went, oh, you little beauty, I've got her here. And so I rose, and I rose like Dracula in those old Dracula movies where he would just tower over people. And I got on my tippy toes. They couldn't see my feet. And I was just huge. And I think I'm 6'5" anyway. I added about 5 more inches, got to about 7 foot. And I'm towering over Sandler Aniston, which led into that wonderful moment of them being fearful. And Sandler was hilarious in that moment. The put your hat on and get out of there was the great line from him. I had a tiki torch. It was a Hawaiian themed movie hanging over the top of me, and it was just it was one of those moments of trying to get the gag to pay off, and it did. And who would have thought a couple of years ago someone rips it from YouTube, puts it on TikTok, and it goes viral again, and it now goes viral every two or 3 weeks. People send it to me. But it's not bad to be known for underlying what my goofiness, stupidity, and madness is in my job as a guy that attempts to get a laugh out of celebs.
It's a hilarious clip, and you're right. It pops up on my Instagram feed once every 2 weeks, I think, at the moment. Have you seen
mate. Sorry.
Have you seen either of them since that incident?
I have, yeah, and I've brought it up to Aniston. She was very confused. She didn't really get it. I think now I haven't seen them since it's gone re-viral, you could say. Right. So I look forward to when that happens, because look, they would have to be getting it sent to them from their management or their PR people or their friends, because they both come off very good in that piece as well, which is great. So good fun.
It's funny stuff. Right, so your flights are booked for Sydney?
Yep, ready to go. Yep. Look, I must say I had to book the flights a little bit earlier. I have a vacation with the family in Japan. During spring break, New York spring break season. It is school holidays, so I went. I told the missus. I said, look, maybe I should go see my mother. This is about a month ago, with the inkling that we'd make the Golden Slipper. I didn't know we would make it, but I thought I'll go see my mum, and so this time I just booked. Because you got to remember, I had everything booked for the Magic Millions. We won the Wyon Classic, Millions Classic in early December, which got us to be favourite for the Magic Millions up on the Gold Coast. But Paradoxium got sick in the float on the way up and had pneumonia and was in bad shape, the horse. So sadly, I had to cancel all those plans. So this time I just said, look, I'm going to go to the Golden Slipper, even if we don't make it, get the flights booked in, and then I'll meet up with my family in Japan afterwards. And I did. Don't worry. I told my wife after the win the other evening, I think we have a pretty successful horse, and it's very exciting, and potentially we could win a share of $3 million. So a little bit of anger towards owning another racehorse that I haven't had much success in as an owner. This time, it abated any marital disputes at this stage, Andrew.
Well, all will be forgiven, of course, if Paradoxium can win. It's going to be a World Pool event. So the World Pool betting on all 10 races there at Rosehill Gardens next Saturday for Golden Slipper Day. It's going to be a fantastic day at Rosehill Gardens. That's Friday night, North American time. I saw you chatting with Peter V'landys at Allegiant Stadium a few weeks back when Australia's National Rugby League kicked off its season in Las Vegas for the third successive year. Brad, has he fixed you up with a really nice table in the wing stand looking over the
Look,
track?
he was very good. Yeah, he said, look, you come and see me if you want to get hooked up. And I haven't bothered Peter. He was a little bit flabbergasted that he knew, he knows his horses for obvious reasons. I didn't know he'd know them that granularly. But when I told him that I had a share in Paradoxium, he couldn't believe it. He's like, I've met Peter through the rugby league angle in Vegas over the last 3 years and become friendly with him. And he was quite staggered. He goes, how the heck do you have a share in this horse? And so I will track him down on Golden Slipper Day.
Well, it's a good question, though. So how does someone who's based in the United States become involved in ownership in horse racing in Australia?
Yeah, I've become friends over here with Shane Finnemore, and the Finnemore family are big racehorse owners, and I've owned horses with them over the years, and haven't had much success. Had a few go all right, a couple of midweek wins and stuff like that. Yeah. And we sold one a few years ago on the English digital sale, so we got rid of it. And I got to tell you, there's nothing sweeter when you have a horse that struggles and you sell it. And the money hits you, and you don't get much back for it. And the money hits your bank account. There's some sort of getting the yoke off your back, I guess. There's some joy in that. So got rid of it, and then that was 2 years ago. And then a year ago, I'm down in Melbourne, like a couple of weeks before last year's Magic Millions, and I opened the newspaper just doing the form when I'm back, and I see Shalailed was the name of the horse, and it was trained by Björn Bacon, and it already had a win that I'd obviously missed. And I'm like, my goodness, Björn bought that horse of the digital English sales, which he's had a lot of success with. Cabalas, that he won the Newmarket with, was bought off the digital English sales. So he knows how to turn a horse around. And you kind of get angry when someone else has got a winner on the horse that you put so much mental effort in and a lot of cash into. And I wasn't happy. And then it went out and won that afternoon, I think, and won a listed race, for about 150 grand. And I'm like, dude, this is killing me. Anyway, my buddies of mine went up to Björn Baker at the Magic Millions, and they know him. And I've known Björn for about 10 years and actually met him at the Kentucky Derby. Great guy, good fun, big personality. And they went up and they said, you know who used to own Shalailed? Brad Blanks used to have a share in that. And he just started laughing. He said, turn the video camera on. So he did a 2-minute of absolute smashing me about selling him a horse that he managed to make successful and get a couple of wins out of. And I was just, that video would have came in like maybe Magic Millions, a couple of days before the Magic Millions, or the night before while the sales are on. I'm shattered. I go to sleep. Wake up the next morning, and then I got the Baker Racing email offering a percentage share of a horse. And I just said to myself, I like the breeding, extreme choice. And I just went, look, if you can't beat them, join them. So I just went, bang, buy. Can I take 10% of this? And straight back, yep, you got it, you're in. And that's how I got bullied into buying a Golden Slipper entry now, potentially could win the thing.
What an incredible story. It's amazing how this sport of ours works, and that is just unreal. We're going to wish you all the very best next Saturday, Friday night, North American time at Rosehill Gardens in Sydney for Golden Slipper Day Paradoxium. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Brad. And you mentioned the Kentucky Derby. Hopefully we'll see you there in a couple of months as well. But in the meantime, good luck in the slipper.
Mate, thank you so much, Andrew. And I hope everyone in Hong Kong enjoys the Golden Slipper. It's a great race. Win, lose, or draw. I'm just happy to get a ticket to the big dance and be involved. It's a beautiful moment in my life, as we're all gamblers and we like to have a bet, and sometimes the racing gods do shine on us.
Oh, they do indeed. That's awesome stuff, mate. Good on you. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks, mate.
Great to catch up with Brad there, and we wish him all the very best. Hopefully Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler will be cheering him on as well. Bill, Alex, have either of you ever been to a Golden Slipper?
I've never been, but I've always wanted to go. I mean, it's the premier 2-year-old race in the world, so it's on my bucket list.
Yeah, and I know
I'm just watching from the bar at Happy Valley there on the Saturday before Sha Tin races. It looks awesome. I've never been to Australia. It's one of the places I really want to get to.
Well, you're part Aussie. The amount of mates that come out of your mouth and things like that. So you got to get there.
Once they
And
really
the other stuff.
have a big race day, Alex Evers needs to be there. You'll get the invite. You'll get it.
I'll kick you guys a percentage if you agent this out. You know, you put the good word into some of the people over there, get me over there, and we'll kick a little bit back to the house.
All right. Okay. That sounds good. I'll work the phones, let you know. All right, gentlemen. I want to thank you both for coming on the show and sharing all your wonderful insights and knowledge. And in your case, Bill, 3 very strong opinions for Sha Tin this weekend. And thank you, everyone, for watching as well. Keep following us on Hong Kong Racing North America social channels. All your form, PPs, trials, all that kind of stuff you can find on the Hong Kong Jockey Club website. And we will see you next week on the Hong Kong Racing Show.